here to remind you to embrace the mid-year reflection in your journals or anywhere you like, while I set up my bullet journal for the second half of the year. We all love doing this at the beginning of the year, setting goals, making plans, and we have this new year excitement that drives us to pursue things that are meaningful to us. And then as the year starts to go on, the enthusiasm starts to wane and we just don't have the same drive that we had at the beginning of the year. So this time of year is the perfect opportunity to review those goals and get back some of that enthusiasm, to think about some of the things that you've accomplished in the year so far, no matter how small, just to give you fuel to keep going. I'm going to set up a brand new bullet journal for the year to help me do this, and I'm going to share with you some reflection prompts that you can do at home in your own journals too. I revisited my own goal setting video from earlier in the year just to help me get back in the right mind frame. So if you want to check that out as well, I'll link that for you up there somewhere and in the description. Before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any other monthly planning videos. And I also do videos on creativity, productivity, and mindfulness in between. I also send out a weekly newsletter which gives you lots of stuff to think about. So if you want to sign up to that, I'll leave a link in the description box below. And once you sign up, you'll start receiving my lovely letter every week. So let's get started. My go-to supplies for this setup, and in fact every bullet journal setup, are a beautiful notebook. This one is from Archer and Olive from the spring collection, and my grid spacing ruler. I'm using a B5 notebook this time. I've never actually used a B5 journal before, so I thought I'd try it out. The pages feel so much bigger, so it'll be interesting to see what I can do with them. I like to have lots of negative space on my pages, which the bigger page might help with. Negative space is the empty space between objects on a page, the blank, empty areas. For me, the space just adds so much to the look and feel of the design, and it's often the real focus of the layout. The first thing I did was find the middle of the page using the number 2 marking on the grid spacing ruler. I then wrote up a quote for mid-year to remind myself to look at how far I've come. It's really easy to forget or even dismiss the small accomplishments from the year, but it's so important to look back and remember them. I heard somewhere that when you're going up a mountain, if you stop midway to look back and appreciate how far you've come, instead of looking ahead and worrying about how far you've got left to go, you're much more likely to make it to the end successfully and happily. After writing up my quote, I decided to change it a little and I ripped out a piece of black paper from my Archer and Olive notepad. The metallic acrylograph pens look so good on black, so I thought I'd put a few of the words on black. It had the added benefit of covering up some of the writing that just looked a bit misaligned. I then drew up a border using the gold acrylograph pen and a black Tombow Fudenosuke pen. All of my supplies will be linked in the description, and for anything you buy from Archer and Olive, you can get 10% off using my code Raksha10. For this setup, I'm also using these lovely stickers from Miso paper. They really blend into the page and make it look pretty with very little effort required. On the next page, I'm setting up a future log for the rest of the year. I used my grid spacing ruler to set up 2 rows and 3 columns on the page. I'm still in my first bullet journal throughout July, so I'm starting this one from August. I used my calendar stencil to draw up monthly calendars from August to December. I used this stencil to set up my page at a glance in my first journal for the year, and it made the process so quick and easy. A few people asked if I'll be making a calendar stencil for next year, and the answer is yes. I'll definitely be making another one for 2022, and I'll have them up in my Etsy shop later this year. There have also been requests to have Sunday start calendars too, so let me know in the comments if you do your calendars with a Monday start or a Sunday start. It'd be really helpful for me to know. I played around with some of the stickers to get a feel for what the different flower designs would look like in the corner. They were all so pretty, I just really couldn't make up my mind. So I moved on to writing up the dates in my mini calendar boxes. Since this is a B5 journal and has much bigger pages than my usual A5, I was able to put all 5 months on one page. This should still give enough space to write down any future dated events and tasks. I'm also going to break down the goals that I set at the beginning of the year into smaller tasks that I can allocate to each month and write those in here too. I think this will help me hold myself accountable for seeing those things through. I added a gold drop shadow around the boxes with the metallic gold acrylograph pen, which always just seems to make things look a bit more glamorous. On a side note, I'll be sharing photos of all these spreads and some of this mid-year motivation over on a related blog post on my website, reflectwithraksha.com. Finally, I decided on a lovely branch to stick in the corner. At a glance, it almost looks like I've drawn it in. I do love drawing flowers normally, but it's quite refreshing using something different like this and playing around with the layout. Then I added some dots around the flowers on both pages. Before finishing off with some lines to divide the months up in the future log. The next spread is dedicated to mid-year reflection, to look back on the first half of 2021 objectively and in a structured way, and just lay it all out on a page before the year just passes us by. Reviewing the year so far is really helpful to do because it helps you reset for the rest of the year. And taking a moment to appreciate small moments in the year, accomplishments big or small, lessons learnt. I can think of some personal things that I think have gone really well, like doing more yoga this year, reading books that I've really enjoyed, taking the time to enjoy simple things like fresh air in the morning or a nighttime tea in the evening. Then there's family things with my kids and the wider family since the world started opening up again, and things related to my business too, like getting to partner with the official bullet journal channel, Ryder Carroll's team on Instagram, adding more products to my shop, having some of my videos sponsored, and hosting journaling and mindfulness challenges as well. I divided the page into 3 rows using my grid spacing ruler and then pulled out some alphabet stamps to write up the review prompts. The first is, of course, what has been going well, and I'll cover all of the points that I mentioned in the personal, family, and business categories and anything else I think of. The next section is what stands out the most about this half of the year so far. Something that really stands out to me is a mindset shift that I've had this year that has helped me slow down and enjoy things while still working hard on my goals. Next, I'm going to write about what I've been doing in 2021 to look after my health and well-being, and if there's anything I'd like to do differently. Then, what have I been learning and what do I still want to learn? Next, what are my hopes for the rest of the year? And finally, how do I want to feel in 2021? This is a really good one to think about when you're thinking about your goals for the year in general. I find that focusing on how you want to feel stops you from pursuing goals that you think you should have or things that you think you're expected to do, and you're more likely to pursue things that are important to you. If you're interested, I can share my completed spread on Instagram, so feel free to follow me on there if you don't already. I always find it really useful seeing people's journal spreads after they've filled them in because it helps trigger my own thoughts on those topics. The next page is a goals check-in. My goals for the year fell into 4 categories, so I divided this page into 4, 2 columns and 2 rows. I used one of the gold stickers along with the gold acrylograph pen to create my 4 sections for review. I'll write a bit about how each goal is going, whether they feel like they're on track, still relevant, or need changing. A big thing that has helped me stay focused on my goals has been being able to learn about productivity, art, photography, and so much more on Skillshare. For example, I learned how to use Procreate for digital art by doing the class Intro to Procreate, illustrating on the iPad. I've been trying to find ways to help me grasp the basics of Procreate, and nothing quite worked for me until I found this class. The teacher, Brooke Glaser, covers all of the key fundamentals on how to use Procreate on the iPad Pro to create digital illustrations. There are so many hidden tools in Procreate that you just don't really know about or understand as a beginner, and it can feel very daunting trying to figure it out yourself. I love that Brooke covers the absolute basics, and by the end of it, there isn't a single feature on Procreate that you don't understand. And in the end, you're able to create a time-lapsed video of your creation in Procreate, and you feel fully equipped to create digital artwork independently. In the reviews, you can see that the class exceeded expectations for people who'd been using Procreate for some time and didn't realise how much knowledge they were missing. If you didn't already know, Skillshare is a whole learning community online with a ton of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. It's a chance to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and just get lost in creativity. I've been using Skillshare for about 2 years now, and I love that there are always new premium classes being launched so I can stay focused and follow wherever my creativity takes me. You can get an annual subscription, but the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of premium membership, so you can check out this class for free. My final spread is dedicated to fun. Don't forget to have fun. Here I'll write all of the things I want to do this year, like a 2021 bucket list. We probably won't be able to travel easily this year, but there's festivals that we can go to in the UK, mini breaks and fun things that we can do in the local area or at home. Here's the final flip through. Let me know which spreads you liked best. This whole setup felt a bit different to usual for me, so I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.